Jordan Love's injury clouds Packers' future, status uncertain after Eagles game. Green Bay Packers quarterback Jordan Love sustained a leg injury during the final moments of Friday night's 34-29 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles in São Paulo, Brazil. The extent of the injury remains uncertain, and coach Matt LaFleur has not provided any updates, leaving fans and analysts speculating about the quarterback's status. Green Bay, Wisconsin. In a disappointing turn of events, the Packers not only lost a hard-fought game but may have also lost their starting quarterback, Jordan Love, to a leg injury. The incident occurred during the closing moments of the game, adding injury to insult as the Packers fell to the Eagles by a narrow margin. Love's injury has thrown a shadow over a season filled with Super Bowl aspirations. Following the game, coach Matt LaFleur spoke to the press but was unable to provide any specifics about Love's condition. "I don't know. We're waiting. Obviously, we're very concerned about it. We'll wait to find out when we do more tests," LaFleur said during a post-game radio interview. While initial fears suggested a potentially serious injury, there was cautious optimism on Saturday morning that Love might have avoided a catastrophic setback. Until Love undergoes further tests, including MRIs and X-rays, speculation will continue to swirl. Medical opinions and online speculation. Dr. David Chow, a former team physician for the Chargers and now an analyst with Sports Injury Central, suggested that Love might have suffered a high ankle sprain, describing the ankle injury as the bigger deal compared to a potential knee injury that may have occurred simultaneously. He added that there appeared to be no worry about a torn ACL. The injury appears less severe since it affects his front leg, which is not as crucial for pushing off as his back leg, Chow wrote. This detail could play an important role in determining his availability for future games. Other experts, such as Dr. Jesse Morse, had a more concerning outlook, fearing a possible ACL tear. "If you slow it down, I believe you can see a pop or a shift in Love's knee," Morse explained. "At the minimum, this is an MCL sprain. My primary concern, unfortunately, is ACL." Diana Rossini of The Athletic reported that the ankle injury might not be the most significant issue. However, Coach LaFleur had little to offer in terms of clarity during his post-game news conference, repeatedly stating, "I don't know how the injury occurred." The injury happened late in the fourth quarter with the Packers trailing 34-29. Starting at their own 16-yard line with just 22 seconds remaining, Love bootlegged hard to his left and completed a 33-yard pass to Jayden Reed, breathing life into the Packers' comeback hopes. On the very next play, as Love stepped up in the pocket, he was grabbed by Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter. Love managed to break free, but immediately found himself wrapped up by defensive end Josh Sweat. While Carter clung to Love's left shin, Love attempted to lateral the ball to running back Josh Jacobs. It was during this chaotic moment that Love's ankle appeared to get trapped awkwardly under Carter, causing the injury. Love was clearly in pain as he lay on the field and required assistance from the training staff. With the game concluded, Love walked off the field supported by a trainer and Josh Jacobs. "Obviously, you don't want to see any of your teammates get hurt, and you definitely don't want to see the leader of your team go down," Jacobs said after the game. "We don't know the severity yet, but we're all hoping he's okay." What's next for Love and the Packers? Despite the uncertainty, Dr. Chow's more optimistic assessment suggested Love might be able to play in next week's home opener against the Indianapolis Colts, though he could be limited in mobility. Love, who started all 17 games last season in both playoff contests, has been a consistent presence for the Packers. "We know what kind of guy he is, how he approaches everything," said receiver Christian Watson. "Whatever it is, I know he's going to get through it. We're going to get through it together. Let God take care of the rest." Love's performance against the Eagles was a mixed bag. Coming off a stellar second half of last season, Love struggled to replicate his MVP-caliber form. He completed 17 of 34 passes for 260 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. It was a night of extremes. While 5 of his 17 completions accounted for 177 yards, the remaining 12 totaled just 83. The Packers' offense managed to rack up 414 total yards but converted only 3 of 11 third down attempts and went just 1 for 4 in the red zone. Their red zone struggles were particularly frustrating. 2 early turnovers by the defense, an interception by Xavier McKinney and a fumble recovery by Devontae Wyatt, gave the offense great field position at the Eagles' 19 and 13-yard lines, but they only managed 2 field goals. Late in the game, the Packers had another chance to take the lead, but they settled for a 26-yard field goal to narrow the gap to 31-29 with 7:52 left. "We were pretty damned good in that area, and we got destroyed in that area tonight," LaFleur vented post-game. A crucial week ahead. If not for the final defensive stand by the Eagles, Love might have had a chance to be the hero instead of limping off the field. The Packers' defense allowed the Eagles to burn over 7 minutes off the clock, forcing Love into a desperate situation where he was ultimately injured. "That was tough to see," said defensive tackle Kenny Clark. "That's the franchise right there. Hopefully, he can be back next week and he can be all right." This marked the second time the Packers have lost both a game and their starting quarterback in an international matchup, following last year's game against the Giants in London when Aaron Rodgers broke his thumb. With the Packers set to face the Colts next week, the hope is that this game will prove to be just a minor setback, as long as Love is healthy enough to play. "We shot ourselves in the foot too many times," Watson reflected. "Pre-snap penalties, poor execution in the red zone. We know what we're capable of. We've got to be critical in the film room, learn from this, and focus on winning next week. We were capable of winning that game, we just didn't execute." As the team awaits further tests, all eyes will remain on Jordan Love and his road to recovery, which will be crucial for the Packers' hopes this season.